Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is the 3rd of November. It's a Monday and I didn't have a great night. But I'm trying to start this vlog on a positive note. If you missed October or any updates, or if you're new here, hi, hello, come on in. I am currently signed off work whilst I wait for an operation on my skull. And yeah, last night was a bad symptom night, which then obviously has an impact on this morning. However, I am trying to keep cheerful. So I thought I'd come and open the vlog because I've got 2 books that I've already finished. My reading is going pretty well already this month. So I wanted to talk about those and yeah, just open this vlog up. So today's Monday, like I said. Gary and I had a really nice weekend. It was like the most normal I've felt for ages. I didn't need to use my walking stick because my leg is loads better. I'm still limping, but it's nowhere near as bad. And we managed to get out on Saturday for a little wander around the local gardening centre. We went for lunch at a pub nearby that had just been renovated, so we went to check that out. It was lovely. And then the rest of the time we were just here, chilling out, watching stuff, reading, napping, all that kind of thing. We also finished, again in inverted commas, our bedroom this weekend. And I think I put some B-roll in of the finished room. It is finished. One of the wardrobes that was installed arrived wrong. There's supposed to be 4 panel doors and it came as a 1 panel door. So that is in at the moment because obviously we didn't want to leave just a gap. And the contractor's coming back in a couple of weeks to swap it out for the correct one. We still need to decorate and do flooring, which we need to do through the whole house. So that will be definitely next year, probably back into next year. And we want to do some other things like change out the light switch and the radiator because our house is late Victorian. And we're trying to kind of restore it sympathetically. But I'm really happy with where we're up to. It's a very calm, grown-up space, which is what we wanted. We also used some gift vouchers that we'd been saving to buy some very nice high thread count bed sheets, and it is like sleeping inside a cloud. So that's been really lovely. And yeah, it was a good weekend. And I think I'm paying for it now, which is a bit of a bummer. But this week, it's going to rain all week apart from today, although the sky looks very grey outside. And I need to get into town and finish off Charlotte's advent calendar. She's coming down at the end of the month, like 3 weeks time. I'm so excited to see her. Because we're going to go see Wicked together. And our Christmas gift to each other is an advent calendar. So I need to finish that. And I would like to do it today, ideally. So I am up and showered. I've had my meds and I've had breakfast. And the key to things these days is just to have one thing to focus on. So I wanted to do a few different things before I went out this morning. So I've tackled that off. I'll do that tomorrow when I'm going to have a homey day. But yeah, I'm going to go into the local town. I live in a village, but we live on the outskirts of a fairly big town. So I'm going to drive over there and raid the local charity shops and hopefully finish off Charlotte's advent calendar. I'm going to do a separate vlog for that, so you'll see that in December if all goes to plan. And I need to do a Tesco run as well because I need to go and get more medication because when do I not need medication? So that's the plan for today. Tomorrow, like I said, will be a homey day. Wednesday, we've got a hospital appointment, which is my pre-op check. It doesn't mean the operation's anytime soon, but it could be because basically once I've had this appointment, I'm like cleared for surgery. And then it could be any time. But we can also ask the nurses like the 500 questions that we've both got about how this is all going to work. So that's on Wednesday, and then I suspect Thursday and Friday will probably be write-offs because I find anything to do with hospital extremely stressful. I mean, I know most people do. I have some I was in hospital quite a bit, in and out of hospital quite a bit as a kid, and I just find it really stressful. So I'm not looking forward to Wednesday, I can't lie. But like I said, we're trying to open the vlog on a positive note. So books, I have finished 2 already. I've already had a 5-star. It's going well. So the first book that I finished is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This was for the prompt face on the cover for my winter reading challenge. You could also definitely use it for disability rep because, as you can see, both of our main characters have got limb differences and its own voices because Hannah Bonham Young also has a limb difference. But I used it for faces on the cover because I've got a different book for disability rep. This was gifted to me by the lovely Milena because this is one of her favourite books of the year. She also gifted me the sequel, which I will definitely be reading very shortly. I gave this 5 stars. I freaking loved it. I picked it up because I picked it up at the end of last month. I did read about half of it on Friday, which was which was Halloween. And weirdly it starts on Halloween. It starts a Halloween party, which I didn't know when I picked it up. But I just wanted something kind of easy, switch my brain off, kind of read. And then I flew through it. I probably could have read all of this, the whole thing, on Friday, but other things came up and I finished it on Saturday afternoon, and I loved this. So we're following, well, I can never remember character names, Wynne, who goes to a Halloween party that her friend has thrown, and she ends up hooking up with this guy who is called Beau, yes, and she ends up pregnant. And it's weird because usually pregnancy tropes don't work for me in romances, but I think because it happens at the start rather than at the end and like 10 years later, blah, blah. I think it worked better. I also really loved just the whole cast of characters, and the sequel focuses on Wynne's best friend and her marriage, which I'm very much down to read. And basically her and Beau decide that they are going to be friends with a fetus and they are going to get to know each other through this pregnancy and co-parent this child. And obviously it's a romance. We know what happens. But yeah, I just loved it. I was in love with Beau and I was like, what is it about him? And I realised he reminds me of my husband. Lots of things that Beau does is the sort of thing that Gary would do for me, and has done for me. And yeah, and I think that's why, part of the reason why I love this book so much. There's lots of discussions around disability. There is a content warning at the front, which we love to see, so that you can obviously decide if this is going to be the book for you. That's the reader's note. So content warning, graphic sexual content is spicy. Pregnancy and symptoms of pregnancy, brief discussion of abortion, pro-choice stance not performed, ableism in reference to a limb difference, verbally abusive ex-partner, no reappearance, death of a parent, passed off page, depression and suicide, passed off page, cancer, past not reoccurring, and amputation, passed off page. So there's quite a lot going on in this book. Wynne is dealing with the kind of fallout from having an abusive ex-partner. She's got some real problems with her self-esteem and all that sort of stuff. Beau is struggling with the loss of his lower leg. So there's quite a lot happening, but I just loved the two of them together, and I would happily read more books just about these two. So yeah, 5 stars, absolutely loved it. We'll see if anything else can top it this month. And then this morning I sat and finished The Children Act by Ian McEwan. This is my book for short book for the Winter Challenge because it's less than 250 pages long. The only other Ian McEwan book I've read, he wrote Atonement, which I've never read but I have watched the film, but the only one from him I've read is On Chesil Beach, which is a book that I really enjoyed. And so I picked this up at random in charity shop. This was fine. I gave it 3.5 stars. We're following a High Court judge, and we're just kind of following her day to day and looking at the various cases that she is dealing with. And a what's the word I'm looking for? A case. There we go. Brain fog. A case comes to her in which a young man is refusing a blood transfusion on religious grounds. He is 17, so he is legally a child, and she has to decide whether to force this treatment on him or let him die for his religion. And it kind of follows that story. It went in a slightly weird direction. I really loved the first 100 pages. It was really tense and really taut, and there's something about Ian McEwan's writing that I really like. But through the second half, like I said, it went in a slightly weird direction. I was like, that felt a bit unnecessary. And I wasn't quite sure what point he was trying to make at the end. So yeah, 3.5 stars. It was fine. It was, a literary fiction novel. I'm not sure that I'll think much about it going forwards, which is why I got kind of half marks. But yeah, that's another book that I finished. So plan for today, I'm going to sit and open the vlog that you'll see in December. If all goes to plan. Then I'm going to bob into town and hopefully finish this advent calendar, which I've thoroughly enjoyed putting together. And then I will come back. By the time I get home, I'm sure Gary will be home from work, and then it'll be the usual pyjamas, dinner, medication, bed. But yeah, let's see what November brings. It's the 8th of November and I'm trying to work out filming angles in our new bedroom. You're actually perched inside a chest of drawers on the tripod. So yeah, as you probably know, I probably talked about it already. I might put B-roll in like last month's vlog. We redid our bedroom. I'm very excited about it. This door arrived wrong. This is a single pane door. It's supposed to look like this one, 4 panes. So this one is coming out in a couple of weeks. But other than that, very happy with the room. I haven't spoken to you all week. I very much planned to talk to you midweek and then didn't, which probably tells you how well my week has gone. It's not been a great week physically or mentally this week, but it is now the weekend, the sun is shining, Charlie's here, Gary's here. I'm hoping to feel a little bit better over the next couple of days. Gary and I went to Bristol for my pre-op check on Wednesday, met the nurses who were really lovely. They answered a whole bunch of questions, did a whole bunch of checks and tests on me to make sure that I am physically fit enough for the operation, and now we wait. So yeah, that's been this week really, and like I said, it's not been a great week mentally or physically. I've spent a lot of time in bed or on the sofa or moving between the bed and the sofa, so there's not been much to kind of vlog or show you, and I just haven't felt like being on camera. But we're feeling a bit better today. I'm up, I'm showered, I'm dressed, well, as dressed as you can be in a pair of snag dungarees and a t-shirt, but I'm dressed and trying to get a few things done. And I have been reading, so I've got 2 books that I finished. I've got 2 books that I bought whilst I was out, and then somebody lovely has sent me something from my wish list, and then I've got 2 books that I pre-ordered. So we've got plenty to talk about. So the first book that I finished since I last spoke to you was a reread of Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kuang. This was one of my rereads for the month. I reread it on audiobook, which I'd highly recommend, but I do have this beautiful sprayed edge edition, which I slightly messed up with where I tabbed it last time. Also the dust on top of this book is embarrassing, but I do have this lovely Waterstones edition, so I'm going to hold this up as I talk. This is literary fiction, contemporary fiction. It sort of blurs the line between the two. We follow a writer, a white writer, and that's important, called June, who is friends with, oh my gosh, why have I just completely lost the name? Athena. She's friends with Athena Liu, who is a Chinese American author, and they have this quite toxic friendship. Both of them are writers. Athena is very popular, highly successful. June is not as successful. Her debut didn't go anywhere near the heights that Athena's did, and they have this kind of slightly toxic friendship. And right at the start of the book, they are in Athena's apartment and she chokes on something and she dies in front of June, which is obviously really shocking and horrifying for June. But in all of the kind of the chaos that follows, June steals Athena's last manuscript and then publishes it under her own name. And this is very much about the literary kind of the publishing industry. It is about who has the right to tell what kind of stories. It's about racism and xenophobia. It's about truth. It's about writing. It's about who owns which ideas. And I really love this story. I gave it 5 stars. I think I gave it 4.5 stars the first time, but it's definitely a 5-star read second time round. I know this book gets criticised for people because people are like it's too on the nose, it's too obvious. But I feel like we need books like that to make it really obvious for audiences to kind of pick up some of the things that Rebecca F. Kuang is talking about in this book. So yeah, I gave this 5 stars. We are not supposed to like June. She's the most unlikable character, and usually I need to like characters in order to enjoy a book, but there's something about the writer's writing that's just really addictive. And like I said, I recommend the audiobook because I just couldn't stop listening to it. My audiobook consumption since I've been signed off work has dropped dramatically because I usually read audiobooks when I commute to and from work, and obviously I'm not doing that anymore. So 10 hours a week when I was reading audiobooks, I'm now no longer commuting. But with this one, I just had it on all the time because I just needed to know what happens next, even though I knew what happens next because I've read it before. So yeah, really enjoyed this. 5 stars, definitely recommend it. If you've got it on your TBR, I would recommend you pick it up. And then I also sat and read Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I think this was Laura gave this to me for my birthday. Yeah, it was lovely. Laura gifted this to me for my birthday. This was for the prompt. So Yellowface didn't fit any prompts on my reading challenge. This was for recommended book because I've seen loads of people recommend this, but specifically, spit my words out, Emily Kathleen Reads loves this series, and so does Brittany at Brittany Loves Reading. Brittany loves books. Sorry. she also loves this series. And I read the first one, which was Icebreaker, back in the summer and enjoyed it. And this is the second book. So in this one, they're companion novels. In this one, we're following Russ and Aurora, who hook up at a party and don't expect to see each other again. And then they both arrive at this camp that they are going to be counsellors at for the summer, and they're both there. And it's this whole like forced proximity, kind of miscommunication happening, and then they're also not allowed to be together because there is a no fraternization rule at the camp, and it goes from there, and it's, you know, a smutty good time. I enjoyed this. I gave this 4 stars. This has some deeper kind of messages in it. I think there was a content warning at the front. It says that it's for 18 and above because it's got explicit content in it. Maybe not, no specific ones after that, but both of these characters are dealing with very complicated family dynamics. Ross's dad is addicted to gambling, and Aurora's father is very absent and is not interested in her as a person. He owns an F1 team, and he's only really interested in her if she can get him some good press. So there's quite a lot going on. I love the central relationship. I love the way they look after each other. Like I said, it was a steamy good time, and it was just a fun, easy read, which is exactly what my brain needs at the moment. So yeah, that was a 4-star. I really enjoyed that, so thank you very much, Laura. And then I went out on Monday, which I might have talked about in the previous clip, because I'm filming a vlog, which you guys will hopefully see in December, where I'm putting together a advent calendar for Charlotte from Books and Bargains. We're doing it for each other as our Christmas presents this year. Her idea, and I think it's a bloody good one. Whilst I was out, bought 2 books myself. So this is not spoilers for that vlog at all, because I obviously won't show you those books because that's for December. But yeah, I picked up 2 books. One I went out specifically wanting to pick up because I really want to read this book, and then the other one of the books that I got for Charlotte was a new book from Waterstones, and it was buy one get one half price, and obviously I'm not going to pass up a half price book. So the first book I picked up, which is from the Works, is B.K. Borison's Good Spirits. I wanted particularly the Works edition because it has these beautiful poinsettia flowers on the sprayed edges. I don't know much about this except that I really enjoyed Love Like Farms, and this is like, he's the ghost of Christmas past, but she's not exactly Scrooge. So I actually don't have any Christmassy romances on my TBR at the moment for December. So I was like, I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to read this in December. And then a completely random pick, which was in the buy one get one half price in Waterstones, is Friends of Dorothy by Sandy Toksvig. Sandy Toksvig is a comedian and a presenter and a writer in the UK. I adore her. And this just looks really fun. The title and the cover drew me in. And it says in the back, Friends of Dorothy is a touching, funny novel about a family that is not biological but logical, a story close to Sandy Toksvig's heart. And it just sounds really fun, so you'll see me read this probably soon because yeah, I'm really intrigued by that one. Okay, then this lovely little parcel arrived a few days ago, and I apologise for how long it's taking me to be able to film and open it, but I wanted to open it on camera, which I'm making an absolute pixie of. Here we go. Right. Gift note first. Nope, that's a receipt. Gift note. Oh, Jodie, just a little treat to lift your day. Thank you for all your videos and content. You are a delight, and we're all supporting you in your journey. Sending lots of love from Jodie. Thank you so much. That's so kind. Like, this is going to sound super cheesy, but like, your guys' support and comments and messages and stuff have really, really helped me in the last few weeks. And yeah, it does help to know that you guys are kind of like cheering me on. What did she go for? Oh, cute. Okay, hang on, let's put this down so I don't dox myself. This is the Burt's Bees. Burt's Bees is my favourite lip balm, and it's just a little gift pack. So salted caramel, sugar cookie, and cranberry spritz. Yum. So that's very nice. Thank you very much, Judy. That is a lovely little treat. And then I got two Waterstones parcels. I know what's in these, obviously, because I ordered them. But I thought it'd be fun to open it together anyway. Let's do this so you can see it. Oop. And I'm very excited about both of these for very different reasons. Yes, this one is Christmassy. Having just said I don't have any Christmas romances on my TBR. This is my advent calendar for this year. One of them. I've got 3 because I'm that extra. I've got the Wax Melt advent calendar, which I think I've already told you about. This one, and then I've got a Cadbury's chocolate one as well. So this is A Heart for Christmas by Sophie Germain, and this is you open 1 chapter a day. Sorry, my voice is going for some reason. Look how cute this is. And then there's a sealed chapter. So, and then each day of the month I will open obviously the corresponding day, and read the story, which I just thought was such a cute idea. I'll read you the back. One month to make my heart beat. When 18-year-old April heads to the foothills of Mont Blanc to spend Christmas at her father's chalet, she is looking for a change after a long illness. Among the swirling snow and festive cheer, she reconnects with her best friend's handsome, daring older brother, Augustine. As romance sparks, she decides she's not going to let her life pass her by any longer. Is April's heart ready for a Christmas miracle? Open a new chapter each day with a swoony Advent romance to fall in love with. How cute and cozy does that sound? I'm also obsessed with this cover. So yeah, that's my little Advent calendar treat to myself. We all know I love an Advent calendar. And then this one. It's also very exciting. It is Margaret Atwood's new release. Oh, she's chunky. So this is Margaret Atwood, A Book of Lives, a memoir of sorts, and it's a signed copy. Like, she's actually touched this bit of paper that will be in here somewhere. I love it. Look at the end pages. They'll be all her doodles. So in case you don't know, Margaret Atwood is one of my biggest heroes in life, my favourite author, and this is her memoir, kind of. It's signed. Such a fangirl. There she is on the back. So yeah, this is, I'll read you a bit of the blurb. How does one of the greatest writers of our time tell her own story? Immerse yourself in the creative universe of Margaret Atwood for a rite of life, art, and everything in between. Raised by scientifically minded parents, Atwood spent most of each year in the wild forest of northern Quebec, a vast playground for her entomologist father and independent, resourceful mother. It was an unfettered, nomadic childhood, sometimes isolated, but also thrilling and beautiful. From this unconventional start, Atwood unfolds the story of her life, linking key moments to the books that have shaped our literary landscape, from the cruel school year that would become Cat's Eye to the unease of 1980s Berlin, where she began The Handmaid's Tale. In pages alive with the natural world, reading and books, major political turning points, and her lifelong love for the charismatic writer Graham Gibson, we meet poets, bears, Hollywood stars, and larger-than-life characters straight from the pages of an Atwood novel. As she explores her past, Atwood reveals more and more about her writing, the connections between real life and art, and the workings of one of our boldest imaginations. And I just love her. Like, I want to be her when I grow up. And so yeah, that's why I pre-ordered this signed copy. So I will be reading this soon. I don't know if I'm going to read it in November. I'm not sure yet, but I will be reading it soon, and I'm very excited about it. So that is the catch up. We don't have any plans this weekend, which is lovely. Mostly because I can only do things in short bursts. This coming week, I don't have any appointments that I know of, unless something comes up. Going out for dinner with a friend on Friday. And then next Saturday, but hopefully I will speak to you before then, I've got the Booktube meetup, which I'm excited about and nervous about at the same time. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. I need to start planning Christmas. Usually by this point I'm finished, but because of everything that's been going on, I haven't even written a list yet. So I kind of need to get on that this week. I'm also hoping to film a video this week. By the time this goes up, you'll have seen if there's been any content at all in November. I didn't manage it this week, so there's no video for this week, which I am upset about, but I'm hoping to, well, we'll try again this week and see what happens this coming week. And yeah, I'm officially waffling. So I will leave you to it. I'm going to go and clear up my books, and we'll see what the next few days bring. It's the 10th of November, it is 11 o'clock in the morning and it is so freaking dark. Like, I just don't think it's going to get light today. I'm about to sit and film the Booktube birthday tag, which hopefully you have seen by the time this goes up. And I'm going to have to film it in this setup because this is where I'm getting the most light. And even with like the lights that I bought, the light is just terrible this time of year. So hello, hi. We had a nice weekend. It was exactly what my brain needed. I am always feeling better when Gary and Charlie are here. Obviously rather than being by myself, but I'm also in this weird space where I don't want to be around other people. Like, I've had loads of friends and family reach out and be like, when you come stay with me, come and visit, which is really lovely, but I just don't want to do that at the moment. I'm not in the headspace. But also being by myself is difficult. I don't know. Anyway, we had a nice weekend, and yeah, it's not been particularly eventful, as you probably saw from the B-roll. I got out for a walk, which was good, on Saturday. The boys built the wood store for the wood for the log burner. Charlie hung out with us a little bit, which was really nice. I helped him a little bit with his revision, which is also really lovely. It's always nice to be asked. That was it. We just chilled. That was the weekend. I have finished 2 books and I've got 2 parcels to open because you lovely lot are spoiling me this month for whatever reason. So the first book that I finished, this was for BIPOC author on my reading challenge. At the time I got drunk and yeeted a love potion at a werewolf by Kimberly Lemming. I think it was Becky or Becca that sent me this. Yeah, Becky from Becky Knits sent me this for my birthday, so thank you so much, Becky. Along with, I think she sent me some Pop-Tarts as well, or something. I can't remember. I will put my birthday vlog underneath if you're interested. But yeah, she sent me this, so thank you so much. And like I said, this is for BIPOC author for that prompt on my reading challenge. What is my hair doing? I really need a haircut, but I'm gonna have skull surgery, so there's really no point. Anyway, tangent. So this is the second one. The first one in the series is The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. Yeah, The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. This is book 2. These are just fun, silly, cozy, smutty fantasy books. In this one we're following, what's her name? What is her name? Oh, it doesn't say it at the start. Is it Cinnamon? No, that's the first book. I literally read this yesterday. What is wrong with me? Brie. I knew it was something to do with food. So we're following Brie, who gets hit on by a guy that she's not interested in a bar, and he hands her a drink that she didn't ask for and she doesn't want, and he won't go away, and so she throws it at him, but her aim is terrible and she accidentally hits a werewolf, and he is then obviously immediately in love with her, and this follows that story. Yeah, this was fun. There's a little bit of peril. There's kind of discussions around consent that I really liked. It's got the fated mate trope in it. Like I said, it's smutty, it's very spicy. There's quite a few spicy scenes that are quite explicit. There is a scene with tentacles, which was a new one for me. And yeah, I thought this was fun. This is never going to kind of change your life kind of writing, but it's fun and it's easy to read. I gave it 3.5 stars. It's one of those books I probably won't remember much about. Like, I feel like the title might be the most memorable thing about it, but I did enjoy it whilst I was reading it, so 3.5 stars. And then yesterday I finally finished There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Shafak. So this was for my borrowed book, because I borrowed this from my brother. And if you watched my August vlogs, you'll know I DNF'd this in August because I tried to pick up and read it for some reason when I was doing a 31 and 31, which was a terrible idea, and soft DNF'd it. And I very rarely soft DNF. I'm usually in or out with a book, but I soft DNF'd it because so many of you wanted me to read it. So I picked it back up for this reading challenge. And read it, and I gave it 4 stars. I think this is beautifully written. We've got 3 interconnected storylines, one that is in the Victorian era, one is in 2014, and one is in 2018. And we gradually see how these storylines converge, and it's kind of, as you would guess from the title and this beautiful cover, the cover is stunning. It is about how we're all connected and how we're all connected by water, and that's really all I say because that's all I knew going in. Check content warnings. This covers some really dark stuff and some really dark times in history, both kind of ancient history and more recent history, and things that are continuing to happen. But yeah, I thought this was well written. I didn't have any kind of emotional response to it, which is why I've given it 4 stars. I couldn't really give it any more than that, but I did really enjoy it. I can see why other people would have loved this, and I can see why my brother wanted me to read this. So thank you for lending me this to me, Ven. I did enjoy it, and that was 4 stars. And then we got 2 parcels to open, which is very lovely. Let's do it that way around. Yeah, I think I've already given the disclaimer in this video. Much appreciated. You don't have to do it. Okay, let's see what we've got here. So, there's 2. Oh my gosh, there's 2 things in here. Okay, and they're both hardbacks. I'm gonna have to pull the books out first because I can't get to the gift note. Oh my gosh, who has done that? Oh, from Emma. This is okay. So sorry you're having such a difficult time. Hope these books help with resting and being kind to yourself. Thanks for all your content, from Emma. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I want to read both of these immediately. The first one is Hey Zoe by Sarah Crossan. I've heard so many good things about this. This is about a guy or a husband that falls in love with an AI doll or something, a sex doll hidden in the garage. Yeah. And the wife gets to know the doll. So I'm really intrigued by this. I also love Sarah Crossan books. God, the light is really bad. I'm really sorry. Wow. Thank you so much for that. And then this, I mean, this is going to have to go straight on with December TBR because to me this is a Christmas book. This is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. But look at this edition. Look at those edges. Oh my gosh, it's so much prettier in person. This is the... Don't try to make me grow up before my time. Ooh, I'm going to definitely cry. Oh, these end pages. This is the... What edition is these? I've got one of these. I've got the picture of Dorian Gray, which is on my November TBR. This is the vintage classic hardback edition. Oh my gosh, Emma. This is absolutely stunning. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for both of these. I feel like, as always, this always happens to me. As soon as I got a set TBR, I want to read like literally anything else. I really want to read both of these very, very soon. So thank you so much. That was really kind of you. I think I got that's one gift note. Yeah. So I've got the gift notes there, so I can put those in a second. That was unexpected. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to have to kind of open on my lap because it's got like my address on the flaps. I've already cut it open, but I haven't looked. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I can see. Oh, it's a Candy Kittens. My fave. There's no gift note. There's no gift note. Okay, hopefully by the time this goes up, I will have found whoever sent me this on social media and said thank you to them. Is it stuck on the back? No. That's very annoying. Wow. Okay, this is the Candy Kittens gift set. So we've got Wanderlust, which is Chewies. Ooh, exciting. These are all vegan. Oh, we've got the shocks. I love these. The sour ones are so good, especially when I'm feeling nauseated. So that one is, what flavours are these? Hello. Strawberry and apple and strawberry and apple. And then the Loves, which are like the softer ones, I think. 2 packs of those. So whoever this was, thank you so very much. Hopefully I would have found you by now and said thank you. If I haven't, please let me know, issue in the comments. And thank you very, very much. For now, I'm going to try and film a video, even though there's barely any daylight today. It's the 14th of November, and I don't know if this is going to come out in video or if you can see it, but there's like a weird reflective thing happening on my screen, so I apologise if that's annoying. I can't work out how to get rid of it. We are in the middle of Storm Claudia. There is no light. Again, it is about 10:30 in the morning, and this is the best we've got, so we're just going to make it work. Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird week. It's Friday. Monday I filmed what did I film? I filmed a tag. Oh, the Booktube birthday tag. And I also finished Charlotte's Advent Calendar and finished the vlog for that, which you will see in December. No spoilers here. And then Tuesday, I ended up very last minute going to see some family. I think I mentioned it at the end of last month's vlog, and I'm not going to go into it because it's not my story to tell, but there is some stuff happening in the background in my family that is tough and stressful. So I went to see some family members last minute. Like I said, on Tuesday we met sort of halfway. So that was good. I didn't even take B-roll because I was so focused on what I was doing. It was the first time, I think I said in the previous clip, like I just haven't been around people, apart from Gary and Charlie, for a few weeks because I haven't really felt up to it. And so I was a little bit rabbit in the headlights because it wasn't like pre-planned. And where we were was really busy and there was a lot of people. I was a bit like, whoa, okay. But I'm glad I went. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday I had a really good day. I had a good level of energy. That was the day I finished Charlotte's Advent Calendar and filmed that vlog. I got a few chores and bits done, and then yesterday I just absolutely crashed. Yesterday was definitely the crash that I was due all week. I could barely move off the sofa, so I just slept and watched Selling Sunset and Selling the OC, and read a tiny bit and had cat cuddles, but that's okay. So today's Friday. I'm having a better day already, because I'm up and showered and dressed and all that good stuff. We're going to see a friend of ours tonight briefly, just to see her, but also she's the friend that lent me the walking stick, which I no longer need, so we're going to drop that back to her. Tomorrow is the Booktuber meetup, which I am equally excited and nervous about. I plan to vlog that, and if I have done that vlog, that will come up before this one, so I'll link it underneath if I have done that. I am looking forward to it. I haven't been to Bath for quite a while. I love the bookshops we're going to. I'm obviously excited to meet the people that are going. There are a couple of people going that I would consider friends of mine that I haven't met in person yet, so that's exciting. But there's also a lot of people there that I don't know at all. And like I said, I haven't really been around a bunch of people for a while. I'm probably not going to manage the full day, but if I could make it to lunchtime, that'd be good. We're going to go and have a mooch around, obviously, the bookshops above, and then go to Pizza Express for some lunch. But also the weather is supposed to be horrific again tomorrow, so we are going to get wet. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. I'm just a little bit nervous. And then Sunday, we're going to go see some friends of ours that we haven't seen for absolutely ages. I think the last time I saw them was about 2 years ago. Just have a catch up with them and see them and their kids. So it should be nice, but there's just a lot of that's going to take a lot of battery life over the next few days. So I suspect the start of next week is going to be a very slow one. But it's all good stuff. So books. I finished 2 books. I have got 2 parcels to open, and my mother-in-law made me a lovely thing, so I thought I'd show you, because I know a lot of you are very crafty knitters and stuff, crocheters, and you like seeing what she makes me. So yeah, let's get into this. So the first book I finished, I actually finished both of these this morning, was Daydream by Hannah Grace. This was for the prompt match the cover to your drink, because when I was doing my TBR video, which I'll link underneath if I haven't already, I was drinking a Barocca, which was purple. It was a blackcurrant Barocca, so it was like this kind of dark purpley colour. So I chose this book. This was gifted, I think this was Laura. Yeah, Laura sent this to me for my birthday, so thank you, Laura. And this is the 3rd book in the Maple Hills series, which starts with Icebreaker, then it's Wildfire, which I also read this month, I feel like. Yes, I did. And then Daydream is the 3rd book. I don't know if there's any more. I would read them if there were. I like this one. This is definitely my favourite of the series so far. I've really enjoyed all of them. I've given them, the first 2 I gave 4 stars, so obviously highly rated. This one I gave it 4.5. There is something about the writing where I can't quite give it 5 stars, and I can't really work out what it is. I think sometimes the author is telling us what's happened rather than showing us, and that's not my favourite writing style. And I think that's what stops me from connecting to it on a really emotional level, which would give me 5 stars. However, I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed this series, and I'm glad it exists in the world. We are following, I can never remember their names, Hallie, who at the start of the book gets dumped by her boyfriend, who has been her best friend. They've been best friends their whole life. They've been in a relationship for about a year, but he wants to progress things physically, and she hasn't wanted to, hasn't had that desire, and so he breaks up with her at the start of the book. And she is in her 2nd year at the university, whatever the university is in this Maple Hills series. And she kind of comes into the orbit of Henry, who is our male lead. And we've seen Henry in the first 2 books, and I was really excited for Henry's book because he was kind of one of my favourite characters. And it didn't let me down. And he is neurodivergent, and we're told in the author note at the beginning that he's neurodivergent, but there is no label given. And the author did that really deliberately to kind of look at how it feels to know that your brain is different, but not really know exactly why or understand exactly why. And obviously I'm not a doctor, but to me, Henry reads very ADHD, and possibly autism as well. And he is the captain. He's been made captain of the hockey team. And basically they decide to team up because he is starting to fail one of his classes. And Hallie, who is this real people pleaser, eldest daughter 101, she offers to help him with a particular class that he's failing. And in exchange, he is going to help her gain some experiences, shall we put it that way. And it kind of goes from there. I really love the relationship between them. It's really sweet. It's really lovely. I really like the exploration of neurodiversity and how it feels. I feel like the author, who is also neurodiverse, its own voices, captures really well what it physically feels like to get overwhelmed and have a meltdown, because it happens to Henry a couple of times in the book, and I felt like that was handled really well. I also think she handles really well the pressure that families can put on you and how difficult it is, what it takes to kind of break away from that. And like I said, I love the relationship between them. It is spicy. This has got the least amount of spice in it because it is very, very slow burn. Obviously because Hallie is kind of at the start is very inexperienced and is a bit reluctant. There's lots of talk about consent and how that's not always open-ended and all that kind of stuff. I just love how all that was dealt with. So yeah, there is smut in this book, not as much as the first two, but it's obviously for a reason. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. 4.5 stars. And another book ticked off the list, so that was good. And then this morning I completed a reread of The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I've been reading this on audiobook because I just wanted an audiobook that was easy, and that I already knew, and that my brain could just easily follow when I'm either driving or kind of pottering around the house. So I picked these up on audiobook, would really recommend it. I think I gave this one 4 stars the first time I read it. I've bumped it up to a 4.5. I think it's partly because I know where the characters are gonna go, and I just love being in this world, and I can't remember what the series is called. Dream Harbour, the Dream Harbour series. So this is the first one. I've got the others downloaded on audiobook, so I'll be rereading them over the next couple of months. I'm not going to rush that reread, even though they are seasonal, but when I just want something light and easy as an audiobook, I'll pick these books up. So in this one, we're following Jeannie, who moves to Dream Harbour to take over her aunt's cafe, and while she's there, she bumps into, is it Logan? Yes, Logan, who is a local farmer who kind of supplies the cafe with fresh produce. He's grumpy, she's sunshine. We know what happens. There's a cat. I enjoy this. I know this series is not like the best literature in the world. It's probably not even the best written romance. Like, this is definitely my least favourite of the series. I think it gets a lot better from here. So if you've only read this one, I would highly recommend you pick up the next one, which is the Cinnamon Bun Bookshop, I think is the next one, because I feel like the writing gets better. But there's just something about this that like just scratches a very specific itch in my head, and I just really enjoyed my time with it. It is steamy. It's small town, everyone knows everybody, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, I just had a good time with this audiobook, so that was a 4.5 as well. Then my lovely mother-in-law has made me something else. If you're new here, she's made me several jumpers, cardigans. She made me a wool kimono that I wear quite a bit, and Gary took her for an appointment this week, and he came home with this for me, which she had so kindly made me. So she's made me this. I'm not sure which way around it is actually. That feels like it would be the back because it's slightly higher. She made me this. I love the colour, first of all. It's also like, I love the pattern of this. I don't know any of the words, okay? I don't know any of the technical terms. So yeah, so she's made me this. She said it's a vest to have like a long sleeve top underneath in the winter, I guess, to keep me cozy. Obviously I haven't worn it yet, but I'm very grateful for this. She sometimes watches these videos, so Chris, if you're watching, thank you so much. I love it. So yeah, she sent me that, so that's something else that happened this week. And then I've got a couple of parcels to open, so let's do that one second. This one, I know exactly what this is. It is my final pre-order of the year, which came from Waterstones. Oh, goodness sake. So I know exactly what this is, and I'm very excited. It is a shelf trophy because I've already read it, because I had an ARC, but I'm okay with that. Okay. Oh, I thought I got the sprayed edge edition. Okay, gonna have to check that. So the book is Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry, which I read last month. So if you want my review of this, I will link that vlog in the description. Spoiler, I loved it. This is the third book in the, God, this t-shirt's got a bit baggy. This is the third book in the Legends and Lattes universe world. Let's have a look at this together. So pretty. There's Fen and the Chaos Troll. Oh, and the elf, the legendary elf, and the horse. Oh, this is such a lovely edition. And is this the same on the back? Yeah, it's the same on the back one. And is this a signed one? Can I remember? I thought I bought a sprayed edge edition, but I will check it. Clearly not. And it's got a map. And yeah, this is, like I said, is a total shelf trophy. But I love this series, I love this author, and I wanted to support, so treated myself to that. And then one of the people I saw on Tuesday was my lovely brother, Ben, who also watches these videos sometimes, I think, so hello if you're watching. And he gave me this, and he said it was like a get well soon. It's not a Christmas present, so I'm allowed to open it. But can we just enjoy the wrapping paper that he's used, because it's so freaking cool. I don't want to rip it. It's got like Abbey Road, Borough Market, Downing Street, Kew Gardens. Like it's such cool paper. I am going to rip it because I want to open it and see what the book is. But I am so, oh no, I'm managing to do it neatly. So let's see what he's chosen for me. He does have excellent taste in books. He definitely has higher brow taste than me in books. I cannot imagine him reading Pumpkin Spice Cafe, let's put it that way. So I'm sort of intrigued to see what he's chosen for me. Can I get this out without ripping the paper? I really love this paper. I would have this paper as like a print on the wall. Let's try and... Oh no! Okay. Well, he's got great taste. Because it's a book you've already seen me open this month. Oh, it's got a little bit bent. Okay. So he sent me the Margaret Atwood that I already bought myself this month. So I'll obviously message him and let him know. And we will sort it out. But it's a very kind thought and a very good thought, because clearly I was very excited to read it. So yeah, my voice is now going. Okay, so plan for the rest of today is not a lot, because we're going out this evening. Not this evening, well, we're meeting our friend at like 4:30 for a cup of tea, which counts as going out in the evening for me these days. So I've got a few bits that I want to do. I need to do a little bit of bookman. I need to write a Christmas list, because I have done absolutely zero for Christmas so far. So I need to write a list of who I'm buying for and where I want to get them. Might start another book, and yeah, we'll just see how the day goes. And then I'll probably check back in with you at the start of next week, once I've been to Bath, and see if I buy any books on the Booktube meetup. It is the 19th of November and it is cold. Like, people have got snow nearby. Like, we don't have snow yet, but the sky looks heavy. So we may well get snow in the next few days, which would be very exciting. I love a bit of snow, especially when I don't have to worry about going to work. That's quite bad to say, isn't it? It would be one of the few upsides of my current situation, is not having to worry about driving to work in the snow. So yeah, it's freezing. I went to fire one yesterday, which was nice. And I can't remember when I last spoke to you. I should really watch previous clips before I sit down. I think it might have been Friday. So have I not spoken to you since I went on the Booktube meetup? I haven't, because I've got a book to show you that I bought on that meetup. So yeah, Booktube meetup. The vlog for that will have gone up before this, so I'll link that words. I will link that underneath. But I had a lovely time. I was exhausted by the end, but it was fantastic. And yeah, everyone was super lovely. But I will leave past Victoria to tell you about that. We saw a friend of ours on Friday evening. It wasn't that late. And then some other friends of ours on Sunday. So I did 3 days in a row of being out and about and socialising. And so Monday I was exhausted. And that's not a surprise. It wasn't a surprise to anybody around me. I was annoyed because I had a list of things I wanted to do, and I thought, oh, I'll get up and get that done on Monday. And my buddy went, no, So Monday was a very quiet day. Yesterday was better. Managed to get a few things ticked off the to-do list. Just boring house stuff that I've been meaning to do for ages, like clearing out under the bed, cleaning the fridge out, reorganising the freezer so I know what's in there. All of that like fun adult life stuff. Oh, I organised our Tupperware collection because every time I opened the drawer, it was like that gif where like everything falls out. So I have sorted that out and now I feel much better. So all just bits like that. And I've also been preparing for Charlotte's visit because she arrives on Friday. I've put together a little gift bag for when she comes, a few bits and pieces, but I need to finish it off tomorrow. So yeah, just all stuff like that. And I've been reading a bit. So yeah, that's what you're here for. What else is happening? It's pretty much it. Monday was a bit stressful because of stuff that I've already sort of touched on about stuff going on in the background family-wise. But Monday was a stressful day, but we're now over that hurdle, which is positive. So, books and reading and what you're actually here for. So, I have finished Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage, which was my prompt for continuous series on the bingo board. And this was gifted to me. Was this Charlene? I feel like it was. Yeah, it was the lovely Charlene gifted this to me in the summer, along with book 4, which I've got upstairs, which I will probably have to wait until next year now to get to, because my November-December stack is out of control. There are so many books I want to read at the moment, and I'm about to add another one on that I want to pick up pretty immediately. I'm not going to get to them all. And I've had people being like, oh, it must be so nice to be off because you can sit and read. And it's like, I can in theory, but my concentration is terrible. Like this book, which is a quick, easy cowboy romance, took me like 5 days to read because of my concentration levels at the moment. So yes, I'm not getting through as many books as people might think. Anyway, this one is book 3 in the Rebel Blue series. Yes. And we are following Teddy and Gus, and their romance has kind of been signposted since book 1. These are all companion romance stories set on a horse ranch in America, obviously. And this is an enemies to lovers forced proximity, which is exactly my kind of thing. This was really fun. I gave this 4 stars. For some reason, I didn't love it as much as some of the other cowboy romances that I've read, which is why I got 4 stars. Obviously, 4 stars is a really high rating. But I'm kind of at a point with these books where I just assume it's going to be like a 5-star going in. I will be back in a second because Tesco has just arrived. Okay, we're back. It's never simple, is it? And I've got all the food shop to put away in a minute. But first I want to finish this. So yeah, I read Lost and Lassoed, gave it 4 stars. It was really solid, thoroughly enjoy it. This series is spicy. They also tackle kind of bigger topics. So in this one, what is her name? Teddy is a carer for her father. He's got some health issues. And Gus is not a single parent. Him and the mother of his daughter are co-parenting really well, but she, the mother, is away, learning to become a lawyer, studying to become a lawyer. So he's looking after his little girl on his own. And Teddy steps in basically as a nanny for the summer. And like I said, it's enemies to lovers, forced proximity, all the stuff I love. Nice and easy read, perfect for my brain at the moment. Really enjoyed it. And then the book that I picked up during the Booktube meetup, and again, like I said, I did a vlog. So if you want to see that and see me open this, because I did a blind date with a book from Toppings, I have picked up Nightshade by Autumn Woods, which is the start of the StoryGraph University series. He's her enemy, she's his everything. Like I said, I did it as a blind date with the book, which I show in that video, so you can go and watch that if you're interested. But look at this cover, and this has got so many buzzwords for me. He'd burn down the world for her, but she plans to burn his to the ground. So we've got enemies to lovers again, false proximity, mystery, murder, revenge, welcome to StoryGraph University. I love a school setting. I feel like it's going to be like dark academia vibes. You might see me read this very soon, even though I've literally just said my TBR for November and December is out of control. A girl can dream. So that's the update. What's happening the rest of this week? Charlotte's coming on Friday. And we're seeing Wicked on Saturday. Oh my god. So the rest of today is for doing a bit of life admin, putting the food shop away, getting the vlog up for the Booktuber meetup, which I've now mentioned like 5,000 times, but I need to get that ready for Sunday. It's Sunday's video as I'm talking. So I need to finish that. Then tomorrow is for cleaning this house. No, wait, tomorrow is Thursday, right? So tomorrow I need to go and get a couple of bits to finish off her gift bag, mostly buying the actual gift bag itself, and also finding something to put her advent calendar in. So I need to do that. I need to go to the post office, send off a few bits. A friend of mine has also asked me to line edit for her, so she is going to be huge. She's going to be a huge writer, I'm absolutely convinced, and I'm not just saying that because she is absolutely lovely and one of my friends. I proofread a book for her, was that over Easter? It was a few months ago, and she's currently querying with agents, and she's got a couple of really big agents arguing over her, which is fantastic. And she's asked me to proofread her next book, which is like a fantasy romance, I think, which I'm absolutely honoured to do because I love her writing, and I'm convinced that in 18 months time she's going to be an absolutely massive author, and when that happens I'll be there going, I told you so. I knew it. So yeah, I need to settle down with that and start line edits. I love line editing for people, especially when I love their writing, obviously, and it's kind of nice to use my brain a little bit. I will obviously be doing it in small chunks because I have to rest and all that stuff, but I'm going to do a bit of that today. You won't see any of that because she's not published author yet, so I have to keep that under wraps, but that is something I'll be doing in the background. And then Friday, Charlotte doesn't get in until the evening, so Friday I will be cleaning the house and getting ready, and then we're having dinner, just the two of us, on Friday night. Saturday we're going to see Wicked. I'm already overwhelmed. And then she's going to hang out here for the evening and have dinner with the boys, which is nice. See the cats and all that good stuff. And then Sunday we'll go for brunch, and then a little bit of a wander either in the local town or in Bath if we can bother to haul our asses over there. And then Monday we're going to have breakfast, and then she goes home. And then we'll see how many times her and I watch Wicked at the cinema before it comes out of the cinema. So that's all very exciting. And yeah, I probably won't chat to you until after the Wicked weekend because I feel like I'm not going to get a lot of reading done. But we will see. But yes, for now, I need to go and put that away and start line edits for my friend. It's the 21st of November and I look a bit like an egg today, and I think I said in the last clip that I'd come and update you after the weekend. However, I finished 2 books at DNF 1 and bought myself this cute little thing that I want to show you so that I can start using it. Plus, I would quite like to have some B-roll that's just of this weekend. So here I am with my hair scraped back. I've been cleaning today. This is the first day in, I don't know, 3 months since summer where I feel like I'm myself, and that hasn't happened for a long time. I'm not expecting it to last. I mean, hopefully it will, but I'm not expecting it to, but I am enjoying it while it does. And like, we've been keeping the house tidy and like what I would call basically clean, like wiping the kitchen sides and like cleaning the bathroom every other week, that sort of stuff. But I haven't like cleaned my house since the summer. And like today, I've had all the windows and doors open. I've had my music blasting, sorry neighbours. I've had the Wicked soundtrack blasting, if we're being specific. And I have like cleaned this house. It feels so good. I had to stop several times for a rest, but I have managed it. And yeah, it just feels good. Feels good to have the house like exactly how I want it. So that's what I've been doing today. I haven't done much this week. Mostly just excited about seeing Charlotte. I see her this afternoon. She's on her way now. I can't freaking wait to see her. But yeah, let's do a quick book update, even though I look, like I said, like an egg. First of all, I want to show you this cute thing that I bought from Tesco's yesterday for like £1. I think it was like £1.25. And it's this mug. I mean, let's get my head out of the way so that it focuses. You cannot tell me that that is not freaking adorable. Christmas tree. Like, it's green on the inside. Like, this is going to be my hot chocolate mug this Christmas. I don't really do Christmas mugs. Do I have any Christmas mugs? I feel like I don't. I don't really drink hot drinks. But I do drink hot chocolate and I drink hot apple. So this will be the receptacle of choice for that this winter. I popped to Tesco's yesterday, mostly just to get out of the house because I've been in the house all week. So I popped to Tesco to get a few bits that we needed and saw this. And I was like, I'm going to have that. Yes, please. I'm starting to feel vaguely more Christmassy, or sort of headed towards Christmas, which is good because it's in like 5 weeks. So yeah, I treated myself to that and I thought I'd show you. So I've now shown you so I can start using it. And then books. I've had a 5-star, a DNF, and a 4-star read. Surprise 4-star read. Anyway, let's go in order. The first book I finished was Reading Lessons by Carol Atherton. This is for the non-fiction prompt for the Winter Reading Challenge. And my brother-in-law and sister-in-law gave this to me for my birthday. I love this. I gave this 5 stars. Like I said, this is non-fiction and the subtitle is An English Teacher's Love Letter to the Books That Shape Us. And basically what she's done is she's gone through about a dozen or so texts that she's taught over her years as an English teacher. And she talks about the text itself, context of it, the story of it, and then why we teach it, and she's linking it to specific points in her life and also her teaching career. And I just thought this was fantastic. It did make me weep because it reminded me of how much I miss my job and how much I miss my kids and why I do my job. I feel like if you work in education in any capacity and any subject, if you're a subject teacher, this is I would highly recommend this book. I would highly recommend it anyway if you want an insight into why we teach. I feel like I could have written this book, like the points that she was making. I mean, I couldn't have written this book because I've never written one, but like the way she talks about English as a subject and teaching in general is exactly how I feel. So yeah, it was a 5-star read. I was expecting to enjoy it. I wasn't expecting to love it this much. And if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I have had some awful experiences with books written by teachers because it can be really kind of white savoury, it can be a little bit male gazy, all that sort of stuff. This I thought was a brilliant balance of talking about teaching and pedagogy, but also talking about her own life, whilst also giving an insight into some of the literature that we teach, why we teach it, all that sort of stuff. I just thought it was fantastic. 5-star read. I absolutely love this. Highly recommend it. I'm going to be buying it for all my teacher friends for Christmas. So yeah, that was my 5-star read. Then I had a DNF, which was for the prompt international author, so I put a different one in. I read the first 100 pages of this and I just wasn't connecting with the writing style at all, and I think it's too fantasy for me. This is Son of Blood and Ruin by Merrily Lares. I hopefully I've said that right. This cover is absolutely gorgeous. This cover is why I bought this book. I picked this up when I was in Bristol with my sister-in-law earlier this year. It was the cover that drew me in. And then it was the back where it says Witch, Woman, Warrior that like intrigued me and made me buy it. I think Fairy Loot did a version of this. I'd never heard of it when I picked it up, and then I think Fairy Loot have done a version of it, so I've seen it about a little bit. I am not the right person to read this book or review this book, so don't take it from me. I just couldn't get into this and I couldn't connect with anything, and like I said, I read the first sort of 100 pages and I was just like, this just isn't for me. So that was a DNF. That was definitely a me, not the book. And then Editing Victoria put a picture up here. I have read an audiobook. So Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson, narrated by Elizabeth Ashby. I haven't been reading that many audiobooks, as you might have noticed, since I've been signed off work, because I mostly historically have mostly read audiobooks on my commute to work, and obviously I'm not commuting. However, I've been trying to have an audiobook on when I am kind of pottering around the house, which is a new one for me, but I'm sort of getting into it. So I picked this up because it was nice and short. Delilah S. Dawson wrote Bloom, which I read earlier in the year and I thought was absolutely fantastic. This is one of the earlier ones, I think, and this is a horror. I gave it 4 stars. We're following a young woman called Des who is desperate to become a fashion designer, and she wants to work in fashion, but she can't get anywhere because she doesn't have any connections. So she starts dating this guy, I can't remember what his name is, that she's met in a bar, who is absolutely vile, but his mother is the head of this massive fashion magazine. So she kind of puts up with him to try and get close to the mother, and he eventually invites her to the family island for a weekend in the summer, and she goes. And stuff goes down from there. I don't really want to tell you any more than that. That's all I really knew going in. All I would say is that the servants are not very happy with the people they are employed by. and yeah, it goes sideways rapidly. And much like with Bloom, there's a really good setup, and then everything just goes completely nuts. And yeah, goes sideways. There is body horror. There is, it's very violent, check content warnings. Lots of it is brutal, like listening to it, I was kind of wincing listening to some of it because it's just like, oh, okay, yep, she really went there. But I thought it was cleverly done. I gave it 4 stars. I felt like some of the messages in it are a bit on the nose, like the way it was done, it was a bit like, okay, there was no subtlety there at all. And also the ending was super rushed, which I think was the same problem I had with Bloom as the ending. However, I really love the way she writes, and I will definitely pick up more from the author. The narrator was also brilliant, so I would also highly recommend the audiobook. So yeah, that was a 4-star read, and I now need to find another audiobook for what I'm pottering about. Okay, so plan for the rest of the day. I have just done, like I said, a deep clean in the house. I need to shower and make myself presentable. I got a few more chores to do. Charlotte doesn't get here until this evening, or I'm not seeing her until this evening. We're going for dinner. And then the Wicked weekend will commence. It's the 27th of November and we had the absolute best time over the weekend, which hopefully came across in the B-roll. I don't think I took loads because I was just too busy gassing with my friend and catching up, but we really did have the best time. Before I start this clip, apologies for the fact that I am bedraggled, my hair's still wet from my shower, but it's now Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yes. And this is the first time I felt like filming all week, so I was like, quick, strike while the iron is hot. So we're going to film this now. Yeah, Charlotte and I had the best time. We saw Wicked twice in 24 hours. She actually saw it 3 times because she saw it with me on Saturday morning, then she saw it again Saturday night, and then we went Sunday afternoon. But it was so good, first of all, just to see her, and it'd been about 18 months since we'd seen each other, so it was just so good to be in the same space. We literally chat back and forth all day. So I feel like I see her all the time, but to actually see her in person, obviously it just hits different. And then so Friday night I went and met her for dinner, just the 2 of us. Is this straight? I mean, is it ever? There we go. Yeah, went and met her for dinner, which was so good. It's just great to squeeze her and see her. And then Saturday morning we met and saw Wicked for Good, which absolutely destroyed both of us. By the time this goes up, I will have posted the reel of us before and after the film, so if you want to see that, it'll be on my page somewhere. I we both thought the film was fantastic. We both loved it. I went in with lower expectations because Act 2 has never been my favourite, but I just thought they did an incredible job of continuing what they did in the first film. And Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's voices together are just stunning. And yeah, I loved it. We both did. So yeah, went and saw the film Saturday morning, then went for lunch. We were both like a bit shell-shocked when we came out. We both kind of just sat in the cafe for a bit in silence, just sort of staring at each other like, whoa. But yeah, we had some lunch and then came back here, got to introduce Charlotte to Charlie, which is really lovely. She met the cats, she saw the house. She obviously spent some more time with Gary. She's met him before, but like not for ages, and they've not really spent that much time together. So it's just so nice to have her here in this space. We got dinner and then dropped her back to the hotel, and then Sunday did not go to plan. So the plan was for me and the boys to meet Charlotte for brunch in the morning. However, I had just got out of the shower, I was sitting in my towel, and Gary came in and was like, there's blood everywhere. Now, they are fine, but there was a lot of blood everywhere, and it was Savannah. She had got into a fight with next door neighbour's cat, and yeah, the amount of blood was scary. So we very quickly scooped her into a cat box. She seemed fine otherwise, but obviously there was blood everywhere. So we scooped her into a cat box and had to wait half an hour for the vets to open. So obviously cleaned her up as much as we could before then, spoke to them, rushed her down. Obviously had to be an emergency appointment, so that was expensive on a Sunday. And they have sorted the wound out. She's got a bite mark on one of her hind legs, but it's in quite a difficult place in that it's like really close to major blood vessels and stuff. So she's had the usual antibiotics, painkillers, all that sort of thing, and she's been in Charlie's room for the last few days because she has to stay inside until it's better. I'm actually going to take her to the vet this morning for a check. I'm hoping everything looks fine to me. She's been letting me clean it with just some saline solution and it feels fine, and she's not got a fever. So I'm hoping they will just say that she's okay and just to finish the course of medication we've got, and then hopefully she can go back outside on Monday. But we'll see how that goes. So that threw Sunday morning out completely. I had to phone Charlotte and go, really sorry, but I've got to go and deal with the cat. Obviously she was fine with that. But once that had all settled down, I went and met her sort of mid-afternoon, and we had a slightly later lunch, and then went to see the film again. Loved it just as much the second time. I didn't cry the second time, but I feel like I took in a lot more of the film, which is why I wanted to see it more than once, because it's such a spectacle. I will probably go and see it again next week by myself. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then we were both exhausted because obviously we are both spoonies, and we have to be realistic. As much as we want to spend like every single second together when we're in the same space, we also have to be realistic. So we saw the film together, and then I kind of left her to it that evening and came home and just kind of collapsed onto the sofa because it was a really good weekend, but it was exhausting, obviously. And then Monday morning we met for a late brunch, which was lovely, just the two of us, and then I dropped her at the train station and off she went. And yeah, the rest of the week has been not brilliant. I knew that I was going to have to pay for the spoons that I had overspent over the weekend, and I definitely have. Monday afternoon was really quiet. Tuesday I was supposed to go for a blood test. I won't get into too much detail, but like I was having a lot of symptoms on Tuesday and I couldn't drive, so I had to rearrange it and to have my blood test done yesterday, which turned out to be really difficult because they couldn't find a vein and all of that kind of stuff. So that took a few goes, and like I said, I won't go into lots of detail, but my arms are quite bruised today. So yeah, I haven't been feeling brilliant, but I knew that would be the case, and it's actually quite a weirdly busy week, especially now with Savannah complicating things as well. But tomorrow is my MRI at the hospital, which I'm really anxious about because I have to have 3 MRIs done. I don't know if I've talked about this already in the vlog, sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I'm going to be in that machine for about an hour, which is a long time when you are claustrophobic and it's very tight in there. So yeah, that's been playing on my mind quite a bit. So yeah, I think that's catching you up to date. I've got 2 books to talk about. I've got 2 parcels that you guys have sent me. I've got an order of something that I ordered that I thought I'd show you, and a Christmas present arrived, which obviously I won't open, but I just wanted to show you. So there's quite a few things to talk about, and I'm already like 6 minutes in. So first of all, I just wanted to show you this really cute pin that Charlotte got me, which says "Together We're Unlimited," and that is from the Etsy shop Beads by Moomin, which I'll link underneath. Isn't it so cute? So I'll start wearing that, but I wanted to show it first. So yeah, she gave me that on the day we went to see Wicked for Good. And then books. So reading has been really mediocre since I last spoke to you. The first one I finished was The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This was for the International Author prompt on my winter reading challenge. This was to replace the book that I DNF'd. I have got to stop reading Riley Sager. I think I enjoyed one of his, like the house sitting one. What's that called? Lock Every Door. I quite like that. Others I not so much. And The House Across the Lake, I read on audio, but if I had read it physically last year, I would probably have thrown it across the room. I gave us 2 stars. So we are following, what is her name? Yeah, I can't remember. We're following somebody, a woman, who is Kit. She's a carer, and at the start of the book, she takes a job looking after a very elderly, very rich woman who is unable to move. She can only move her left arm, and she goes to this house to look after her. And this woman is notorious in the local area. She was accused when she was a teenager of killing her entire family, and she was the only one left at the end of that massacre. And Kit, our protagonist, is also hiding some secrets, and it kind of goes from there, and secrets and lies are revealed. I really liked the start of this, the sort of first 50 pages. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm into this. It's tense. I'm interested in what's happening. But I very quickly got bored. I feel like it lost all pacing. Some of the answers to things I thought were glaringly obvious. I got about 80 pages in. I said to Gary, I was like, I think I've worked this out. And I had, and that's annoying. And I also just didn't like the main character. Kit's really annoying. So I gave it 2 stars. I did finish it. Should I finish it? I'm not sure. But I did. It was an easy enough read. But yeah, I have got to start reading Riley Sager. He's just not for me. And then yesterday I finished The Dinner Lady Detectives by Hannah Hendy. This was for the second-hand book prompt, again on the Winter Reading Challenge. And this was just aggressively fine. I gave this 2.5 stars. And we're following 2 dinner ladies, Marjorie and Clementine, who are working as dinner ladies at a secondary school, and one of their colleagues gets murdered one day. She's found dead in the freezer, the walk-in freezer. And there were things that I really liked about this. 1, it's cozy. 2, it's quite funny. 3, Marjorie and Clementine are in their 60s, and they've been in a relationship together for years. Marjorie wants to get married, Clementine doesn't. And I really liked the way that was portrayed. I was talking to Charlotte about it. I was like, I feel like there aren't that many books with like older queers in. So I really like that representation. However, the writing, this is a debut. The writing felt very basic. I didn't feel like I knew what anyone looked like. And also, Marjorie and Clementine are in their 60s, but the way they behave, it's like they're in their 80s, which just felt a bit unnecessary. I also felt like there were too many characters. And the reveal of the mystery, I didn't think was like a particularly big twist or a shock. So it was fine. I read it. It's part of a series. Would I read any more in the series? Probably not, unless I came across it cheap in a second-hand shop. 2.5 stars. It wasn't offensive, but would I recommend it? Probably not. So there we go. Do what you will with that. So those are the 2 books. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath today. Like I said, I've been having symptoms this week. Right, now I have 2 parcels that arrived a couple of days ago, and as usual I apologise for not having opened them quicker, but like I said, I haven't felt like filming, but we're going to open them now. We're going to go with this one and see what lovely things people have sent me and why. Let's see if I can find a gift note first. Okay, that's the receipt and the gift note. Okay. Oh, Deborah, enjoy your gift. You're going through so much. I want to let you know that you're appreciated. Take care, from Deborah. Thank you so much. That's really lovely. And which book did you pick? Oh, that's exciting. So this is The Trouble with Mrs. Montgomery Hurst by Katie Lumsden, who is Katie from Books and Things, who organised the Booktube meetup. And, oh, it's floppy. I embarrassingly realised on that meetup that I hadn't actually read her books yet. And I don't know why not, because she writes historical fiction, which, I mean, I've read less historical fiction this year, but I feel like the style of this is kind of like Jane Austen-y, so I feel like I should read it and enjoy it. I love this cover. I don't really know much about this. It's something about a woman who gets married and everyone's kind of shocked that her husband's married her, I think. Let's read a little bit of it. The trouble with Mrs. Montgomery Hurst is not Mrs. Montgomery Hurst, as young Miss Amelia Ashpoint well knows. The real trouble is the polite society of Wickenshire, with its inescapable gossip about the arrival of the new Mrs. Hurst and, whisper it, 3 children from a previous marriage. Okay, so she's going to be like scandalous within the community. In Wickenshire, nobody's business is their own. In this strange match, the local family scent scandal, and they will do anything to expose it. Meanwhile, Amelia Ashpoint, though handsome, clever and rich, is avoiding talk of marriage at all costs. For while society expects Amelia to marry well, her heart is drawing her in a very different direction. That sounds great. And it says on the front, characters Jane Austen would be proud of. So that's exciting. Thank you very much, Deborah. That was really kind of you. Let's put the gift note in there. So that's that one. And then let's do this one. It's a weird shape. Right, that's the receipt. Gift note. There is not a gift note. So whoever this was, thank you very much. Hopefully I would have found you on social media. Oh, yes! Great choice. So this is The Michaelmas Murders. This is by Mandy Morton. And actually, if you do like this series, I would recommend this because the characters in this really reminded me of the characters in this, although I feel like this is better done. I was giving Charlotte that comparison. Is there definitely not a gift note in there? No, there isn't. That's annoying. This is the next book in the #2 Feline Detective Agency. And I'm very excited. I love this series. I also love these covers. I mean, look at that. So this is a cozy mystery series in which everybody is a cat. That's pretty much what I can tell you. It's basically like Agatha Christie, but with cats. Let's read a little bit at the back. So, can Hetty and Tilly unearth the truth? As the town's annual flower and produce show approaches, it's all doom and gloom up on the allotments. Prize vegetables are going missing and a dead body is found fertilising Bonnie Grubb's onion patch. Baronial landowner Fluff Witherfork is beside herself and calls in the #2 Feline Detective Agency. Who is trying to sabotage the scarecrow competition? And will Hetty Bagshot and her sidekick Tilly get to the bottom of this murky compost heap before Judgment Day arrives? Amid a sea of binder twine and raised beds, a spiteful killer cat is on the prowl. Who will be next as the allotment community shake in their Wellington boots? This is so fun. Okay, whoever sent this to me, thank you so much. I really wanted to move on to the next book in the series for a while. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Okay, then I did some ordering myself. The only thing I bought in the Black Friday sales was deodorant and shower gel. So as you guys will know, if you've been around for a while, I have been using Wild for the last sort of 18 months or so. Not at all sponsored, I haven't worked with them. My fringe is now starting to dry, so let's just straighten it. I haven't been sponsored with them or anything, I was just enjoying their products. However, they've now been bought out by Unilever, which is a massive, obviously, company, and they are known for testing products on animals, which I would rather avoid. So when my Wild stuff ran out, I decided to have a look at Fussy instead. Oh, sorry, I'm really out of breath today. Yeah, I decided to have a look at Fussy instead because they are still an independent company. They are still not testing on animals and all that sort of stuff. So I did an order and got like quite a good discount in their Black Friday sale, and it's arrived. And it arrived really quickly. So I just thought I'd show you what I got and we can have a quick sniff. It's cute, and I really like the way it's all packaged with cardboard. It says no plastic. I can't remember which scents I got. Does it say on the back? So I got Jasmine Bloom. Ooh, that is nice. Obviously it smells floral. I also got Iced Pear, which is one of their Christmas scents. There's really nothing to show because they're like white and all the packaging is the same. Oh, I really like that. That is like, yes, obviously sweet and fruity. And I also got Parma Violets, which is the scent I was like most excited for. And yep, I'm gonna smell like a sweet shop. I went with their pink case, which I really like. So yeah, I got the deodorant. Let's keep the instructions in there. I'm gonna have a massive clear up operation to do after this. And then I also decided to do shower gel as well, because I really like using the fillable shower gel. And again, I went with their pink shower gel dispenser. And so yeah, I thought we'd give it a go for 3 months and then see how I get on. so cute. Oh, they're like tin cans. That's intriguing. So obviously I can't sniff this because I can't open it. I can't remember which one. I got Sugar Crush, it says that on the bottom. I got Wide-Eyed, can't remember what that is. And I got Lavender Fields. So yeah, those were the scents that I went with. I decided to get one of their Christmas scents, which was the Sugar Crush one. But yeah, I'll let you know how I get on if you're interested, and I will link it underneath. And then this morning, or yesterday even, let's try and do this without putting stuff on the internet, this arrived for me. And I know it's from Chloe because she sent me a picture before she put everything in the post. So I'm obviously not going to open that, but I just wanted to let you know it arrived on the 27th of November. Have I even ordered her Christmas present yet? No. I've literally done nothing for Christmas shopping just yet. It is on my list of things to do probably tomorrow. But yeah, as always, Chloe is way ahead of everybody else in terms of organisation, so yeah, that arrived too. Okay, this is a 17-minute clip. I've talked about 2 books. Right, I need to tidy all this up, edit this clip, go and get the cat into the cat box and drag her to the vets. And those are almost all the books that I read in the month of November. It's now the start of December. You can see my advent calendar just here. And I'm coming in to wrap up the wrap up. I've got one more book to tell you about and stats to do. Yeah, so I had my MRI. I was in the tube, in the machine for an hour and a half. It was a very long one. Even the technician who was there was like, this is going to take a while. And that's because they were scanning my brain, my neck, and my whole spine. And yeah, it's not something I'd want to do every day. I am very claustrophobic. Wearing a sleep mask is definitely the way to go. So if you're someone who's going to have an MRI, that would be my biggest tip, is to wear a sleep mask, because I couldn't physically see how close the ceiling of the tube was to my face. So that really helped. They gave me a Defenders because it's, in case you don't know, it's very loud inside that machine when it's scanning you. So they gave me those, and I just kind of lay there and just tried to think about something else. It is difficult because it's so loud, it's difficult to think about something else. But I managed it and I got through it. The technician was really good. They were giving me countdowns of how much time was left and all that sort of stuff, which really helped. So that's now done, and that is hopefully the last hurdle between me and getting a date for surgery. Obviously I will talk more about that as it comes up, hopefully in December. But yeah, that's kind of the last medical check needed before we can go ahead and get my surgery booked in and hopefully done soon. So there's that. We then had a very quiet weekend. We were both really tired. Gary thought he was coming down with something, but thankfully it didn't really come to anything in the end. But yeah, we just had a very, very quiet weekend and watched films and slept and read, and I used the slow cooker a lot to make dinner and all that kind of stuff. It was a really good weekend. It does mean today's Monday and I have got a massive list of things to do today because I basically ignored all my chores yesterday. But that's the way that goes, and that's for me to talk about in December's vlog. I did finish one more book, and that is Good Taste by Caroline Scott. This was gifted to me. Was this? Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got the name right. This is a lovely Melinda who sent this to me for my birthday. She actually emailed me over the summer and said, there are 2 books that I really want you to read. I think you'd really like them. I want to recommend you them. One was this one. The other one was Cinnamon and something. I can't remember. But I've just saved it on my Everand to listen on audiobook, probably in the new year, realistically. But that one is also coming up on my reading list. But yeah, she was kind enough to, 1, recommend me the book, and 2, then send it to me from my wish list. And I've really enjoyed this. I gave this 4 stars. This reminded me of, oh my gosh, I'm actually rereading it right now. What is the name of that book with Elizabeth Zott? I've got my list here. Lessons in Chemistry. God, I actually started rereading that this morning. You'll see that in December. I can't believe that left my brain. This very much reminds me of Lesson in Chemistry. I feel like if you liked that, you would probably like this. We are in 1932 in England, so we're in the interwar years, and we're following, sorry, my brain is not switched on today, Stella, who is a writer, and she writes for women's magazines, but she's written an autobiography of this fairly obscure person, like cookery person, and her boss, her publisher, basically calls her in and says, I want you to write about English food. Like, what is English food? What's the best of English food? All that kind of stuff. So she's writing this book, and we just kind of follow her as she does that. There are big content warnings in this, a lot like Lessons in Chemistry. This cover, which I love, by the way, and was my prompt for food on the cover, because hello. This cover doesn't tell you actually how deep and dark the story gets at points, so please check content warnings. About a year before the story starts, her mother has died of cancer, so be aware of that. There is also a sexual assault that happens, and it's not kind of on page exactly. She's not quite clear what's happened, and so neither are you as the reader, and it's not really talked about directly, which is probably accurate for the time, sadly. But something happens to her that's quite dark, so just be aware of that. This cover, I think, is really cute and bright and colourful, but it doesn't really tell you just how dark the story does get in some parts. I really enjoyed it. I loved all the descriptions of food, and the food writing was beautiful, and I felt like the time and place was like really strong. The setting was really strong, so I really enjoyed that. It did feel there was a little bit of tell rather than show rather than tell. I can't remember which way around it's supposed to be. But there were times where I was like, something felt really rushed, and I was like, well, hang on a minute, I want to go back to that. And there's also kind of this very slow burn romance thread through the story, which one felt really predictable and two felt rushed at the end. So I really did really enjoy it, would recommend it. Like I said, if you liked Lessons in Chemistry, I would recommend this. And thank you very much for sending this my way. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that was the final read of the month, and that was 4 stars. So let's talk stats. I've got my trusty green book, which I've talked about before. I just got this on Amazon. I think if you put in like Tree of Life notebook, it comes up. I do love it, but the pages, it's not very secure. The binding is not great, and pages keep like coming out. But anyway, so let's talk about November. So number of books read was 14. So that is my best month apart from August, obviously. I think it's tied with like February was also quite high, and March, but that's a really good reading month. That's a good number of books. Number of pages was 4,848 pages, which is 162 a day. So I think it's fairly safe to say I am currently back in my reading swing. Hopefully that will continue. My average star rating was 3.96, which is okay. I think I would ideally like the average star rating each month be 4 stars and above, but anything above 3.5 stars is fine. My favourite read of the month, I really thought at the start of the month it was going to be Out on a Limb, because I was like, nothing's going to top that, and I did love it and would highly recommend it, and I'm very much looking forward to reading the sequel in December. But it's got to be Reading Lessons by Carol Atherton. This has just made a real impression on me, and I'm still thinking about it. I feel like it's got stuff in it that I will take into my teaching, and I love it. I just really, really loved that one. So yeah, that's going to be my read of the month. Most disappointing, The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I really had high hopes going into this, that this was going to be an improvement on The House Across the Lake, and I didn't want to throw this across the room, I'll give it that, but it has confirmed that he is not an author for me, and that is disappointing. So that's my most disappointing read of the month. The oldest book on my TBR is still The Institution, which I got back in April, so I will definitely be reading that in January. My December TBR is over there, and it is out of hand. If I do by some miracle manage to finish that whole thing, that will be, The Institution will be the next thing I pick up for sure. And then balancing the books. So 11 books came off my TBR this month, which is great. 9 books came onto my TBR. So obviously I had 2 more out than in, and then year to date I've had 16 more out than in, so I am very much in the green, which is fantastic. Now obviously this month Charlotte has gifted me 12 books, well actually 13, because she gave me this bonus gift that you will see me open in December's vlog, that I haven't added in, but because I don't know what they are yet, I'm gonna add them in on the months that I have opened them, if that makes any sense. So like I will add this in December, and then when I open the January one, I'll add that in January. So for now Year to date is 16 more in than out. And then my shelves, I've got 5 books staying. 2 of those are rereads, so 3 new books going onto the shelves and then 8 going out. One of the books that I read was the audiobook for Guillotine, which I don't have a physical copy of, so that doesn't count. And I had 1 DNF, which was Son of Blood and Ruin. So that is November. I feel like it's been again a rollercoaster of a month. I feel better in myself, like mentally, which is good. Physically things are still tough. That is how it's going to be for a while yet. But mentally I do feel myself kind of I'm losing my voice, coming back to myself, which is obviously a really good thing. I am just feeling more like myself. I'm excited to get Christmassy, which I was definitely not at the start of this month, or the start of November. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting our Christmas tree next weekend, celebrating Charlie's birthday with him, and just getting festive. So yes, thank you if you have been following along. I am so very lucky with the support that I get from you guys. I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. If you got to this point in the video, let's choose a random one. Leave me an egg emoji, please, for the egg on this cover. Just let me know you got to the end. Please subscribe if you would like more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.